On a crisp November afternoon, Ross-Ade Stadium was electric with anticipation. The stands overflowed with fans, their breath visible in the chilly air, as Purdue prepared to face a true giant of college football. This was more than just a game. It was a classic David versus Goliath matchup, with the Boilermakers set to challenge the top-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, a team with a storied legacy and a roster brimming with future NFL stars. The Boilermakers, deep in a rebuilding year, were seen by many as underdogs with little chance. Their roster was young, their experience limited, and their season had been marked by growing pains. Across the field, Ohio State looked every bit the juggernaut, disciplined, confident, and carrying a nearly perfect record that intimidated most opponents before the first snap. Ohio State entered as a 29.5-point favorite, and most expected a blowout. The oddsmakers, analysts, and even some fans believed the outcome was a foregone conclusion. The Buckeyes' dominance was supposed to be overwhelming, their victory inevitable. But inside the Purdue locker room, hope flickered. The coaches reminded their players that Ross-Ade has a history of upsets, a place where giants have stumbled before. The Boilermakers wanted to prove that their hard work was paying off, that progress was being made, and that they could compete with the very best. The final score, 34-10 in favor of Ohio State, doesn't tell the whole story. On paper, it looks like another routine win for the Buckeyes, but the reality on the field was far more complex and inspiring for Purdue. Purdue's young team showed grit, flashes of brilliance, and moments that hinted at a brighter future. There were big plays, emotional celebrations, and a refusal to back down, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. This wasn't about pulling off the impossible, but about measuring themselves against the best and learning from every snap. Each play was a test, each drive a lesson, and the Boilermakers embraced the challenge with determination and heart. The game became a crucial chapter in Purdue's resurgence, revealing both how far they've come and how far they have to go. The fans recognized the effort, cheering their team for the fight they showed, not just the points on the board. Defensive stands, promising drives, and emerging talent offered hope for what's ahead. Young players stepped up in big moments, showing that the foundation for future success is being laid, even in defeat. On the scoreboard, it was a loss, but for Purdue, it was a step forward, a sign that with continued growth, belief, and resilience, the gap between David and Goliath can one day be closed. Purdue's defense faced a daunting task: slow down Ohio State's high-powered, Heisman-led offense, a unit that had steamrolled nearly every opponent this season. The Buckeyes came in averaging over 40 points per game, with a quarterback in Sayen who was already being talked about as a future NFL star. The challenge was clear: if Purdue wanted to stay in the game, their defense would have to play its best football of the year. The Buckeyes' passing attack was expected to dominate, but Purdue's defense played with discipline and intensity, making every yard a battle. From the opening whistle, the Boilermakers set the tone with aggressive tackling and relentless pursuit, refusing to be intimidated by Ohio State's reputation or their explosive playmakers. Mixing coverages and bringing pressure, the Boilermakers disrupted Sayen's rhythm and forced contested throws. Defensive coordinator Mark Hagan dialed up creative blitzes, sending linebackers and safeties from unexpected angles, keeping the Buckeyes' offensive line guessing and their quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. The defensive line, outmatched on paper, fought hard in the trenches and managed 2 sacks, half of what Ohio State had allowed all season. They consistently collapsed the pocket, forcing hurried decisions and never allowing Sayen to settle into a rhythm. Even when they didn't get the sack, their pressure led to errant throws and missed opportunities for the Buckeyes. The secondary played physical, challenging every route and forcing the Buckeyes to earn every completion. Purdue's corners and safeties blanketed receivers, breaking up passes and making open looks rare. Their physicality at the line of scrimmage disrupted timing and forced Ohio State to adjust their game plan. These weren't just moral victories, they were real, drive-stalling plays that energized the crowd. Each third-down stop and forced punt sent a jolt through the stadium, with fans feeding off the defense's energy and determination. The Boilermakers' grit was contagious, and the home crowd responded with thunderous support. Holding Ohio State to 34 points was a significant achievement, showing the defense's growth and potential. Against an offense that routinely puts up video game numbers, Purdue's ability to limit big plays and keep the game within reach was a testament to their preparation and heart. They forced turnovers, made key third-down stops, and never broke, even as the offense struggled. The defense's resilience was on full display as they repeatedly answered the call, coming up with clutch plays in the red zone and refusing to let the Buckeyes pull away. Purdue's defense sent a message, not just to Ohio State, but to the entire conference. They proved they can compete with the best, and with each game, their confidence and chemistry continue to grow. This performance was more than just a bright spot, it was a sign of things to come. The rest of the Big Ten should take notice. This unit is on the rise, and they're hungry for more. With this kind of effort, Purdue's defense is quickly becoming one of the most respected groups in the conference, and their best football may still be ahead. Amidst a field of future NFL stars, Purdue's C.J. Nunnally IV delivered the play of the day. The Akron transfer has been a force all season, but against Ohio State, he made his mark with a game-changing interception in the red zone. Dropping into coverage, Nunnally read Sayan's eyes, leapt, and picked off a sure touchdown. It was a statement. Purdue's defense has playmakers who can change a game in an instant. Nunnally's relentless motor and versatility make him a cornerstone for the Boilermakers. His performance on this stage confirmed his status as one of the Big Ten's premier defenders. For Purdue, Nunnally is a building block for the future. While Nunnally shined on the edge, linebacker Monty Powell anchored the defense with a dominant performance. Powell was everywhere, sideline to sideline, racking up a team-high 12 tackles and a crucial sack. His perfectly timed blitz early in the game set the tone, taking down Sayan and firing up the defense. Alongside him, Breon Ishmael added a key fourth-quarter sack, forcing a long field goal. The duo's energy and toughness showcased the depth Purdue is building at linebacker. Powell's relentless play was a beacon of hope, proving he can be the heart of a Big Ten defense. His impact went beyond stats. He set the standard for effort and leadership. Purdue's defense is finding its identity, and Powell is leading the charge. Purdue's offense struggled against Ohio State's elite defense, but there were flashes of promise. The game plan was conservative, aiming to avoid mistakes, but young players still managed to shine. Quarterbacks Ryan Brown and Malachi Singleton showed poise under pressure, connecting on key plays when given the chance. The offense's resilience was evident. They kept fighting, even as the deficit grew. The lone touchdown drive in the fourth quarter, aided by penalties, showed what's possible when the playbook opens up. The experience exposed areas for improvement, especially in consistency and short yardage execution. Still, the flashes of talent and effort are the foundation for a more dynamic attack in the future. Purdue's offense is learning, growing, and getting ready to take the next step. In a tough matchup, Purdue's offensive bright spots came from newcomers Traumar Harris and Rico Walker. Harris, a redshirt freshman, drew 2 key pass interference penalties by running aggressive, precise routes against top defenders. His ability to create separation and win one-on-one battles signals a promising future for the receiving corps. Meanwhile, Auburn transfer Rico Walker made a big impact with a 30-yard catch, showing his potential as a dynamic tight end. Walker's size and speed make him a matchup nightmare and a valuable target moving forward. Both players gave Purdue fans a glimpse of the offensive weapons developing on the roster. Their emergence is a sign of better days ahead for the Boilermaker offense. Despite flashes of promise, Purdue's offense struggled to find rhythm against Ohio State's defense. Dropped passes, especially from promising receiver Nitro Tuggle, stalled drives and cost valuable points. Short yardage failures, particularly with Malachi Singleton's package, highlighted issues in the trenches. The inability to convert in key moments put extra pressure on the defense, creating an unsustainable dynamic. These mistakes are correctable, but they exposed exactly where Purdue must improve to compete at the highest level. The game was a harsh lesson in execution and focus. For the Boilermakers, it's clear. To take the next step, the offense must become more consistent and reliable. Late in the game, Malachi Singleton was given the reins to the full offense, and he delivered. Freed from a limited role, Singleton led Purdue's only touchdown drive, showing poise, a strong arm, and dual-threat ability. He capitalized on 2 pass interference calls drawn by Harris, then capped the drive with a precise touchdown pass to Jesse Watson. Singleton's spark raised questions about his future role and whether he's earned more opportunities. While it was just one drive, his performance was a clear sign of his potential. He brought energy and hope to the offense, giving fans a glimpse of what's possible. Singleton proved he can be a major part of Purdue's offensive future. The 34-10 loss to Ohio State was more than just a number on the scoreboard. It was a true measuring stick for Purdue's progress as a program. While the final score stung, it also offered a rare opportunity to see exactly where the Boilermakers stand against one of the nation's elite teams. For the players, coaches, and fans, this game was a reality check, but also a moment to reflect on how far the team has come and how much further they can go. The defense stood tall in the face of adversity, refusing to back down. Nunnally's interception was a highlight, a spark that energized the sideline and showed the kind of playmaking ability this group is developing. Powell's relentless pursuit and physicality set the tone, forming the backbone of a new defensive identity that's beginning to take shape. Even when the odds were stacked against them, these defenders played with heart and determination, proving they can compete with anyone. On the other side of the ball, young offensive playmakers like Harris, Walker, and Singleton flashed real potential. Their speed, creativity, and willingness to take risks gave Purdue fans a glimpse of what the future could hold. Even in defeat, these emerging talents showed that they're ready to step up and make an impact, learning valuable lessons with every snap. Of course, the game also exposed some weaknesses: dropped passes, struggles in short yardage situations, and moments where execution fell short. But these mistakes weren't just setbacks, they were teaching moments, providing a clear blueprint for improvement. The coaching staff now has tangible areas to address, and the players have a better understanding of what it takes to compete at the highest level. These are the growing pains of a team learning to compete in one of the toughest conferences in college football. Every challenge, every mistake, and every small victory is part of the process. The Boilermakers are building resilience, learning to trust each other, and developing the mental toughness that will serve them well in the seasons to come. As Purdue left Ross-Ade Stadium, they carried more than just the weight of a loss. They walked away with valuable lessons, a renewed sense of direction, and a deeper understanding of what it takes to reach the next level. The pain of defeat is real, but so is the motivation it brings. The defense proved it can challenge anyone, and the offense discovered new sparks to build around. There were moments of celebration, flashes of brilliance, and signs that this team is starting to find its identity. The energy on the sideline, the support from teammates, and the drive to improve are all signs of a program on the rise. This was just one chapter in Purdue's story, a loss that, in many ways, felt like progress. Every setback is a setup for a comeback, and every tough game is a stepping stone toward future success. The journey is far from over, and the lessons learned here will shape the team's path forward. The building blocks for a brighter future are firmly in place. With each practice, each game, and each challenge, the Boilermakers are laying the foundation for something special. The determination in their eyes and the unity in the locker room speak volumes about where this team is headed. The Boilermakers are on the rise, fueled by lessons learned and a hunger to improve. With every step, they move closer to becoming the team they aspire to be, ready for whatever comes next, and determined to make their mark on college football.